Well, how did you have a chance at the end? I mean, what a great look from Allie.
Yeah. Our team didn't quit. We didn't have the best of games. We had a better second half than the first 2-point game, so barely edged them out. They had the edge in the first half. I just think that they came over to the timeouts and they tried to do what we asked them to do. And so, I think 26 mark or somewhere in there, it took us a little bit long to get the foul. We were hoping to foul a little bit sooner. But really, they executed. We drew up some stuff on the board that they hadn't seen a ton. And, our team is very talented and we're still putting the pieces together, but they should believe in themselves because they're getting better every day and we're every bit good enough to, if you just rewind each of the games, we've been, we're good enough to win all of them. Unfortunately, they haven't all gone our way, but, if you told me that we were going to give them 16 shots before we got to shoot, which was the disparity. They shot 16 shots more than us, and whatever. And if you're going to tell me that Allie Turner was going to have a 3 to win the game, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's see how that goes. Both Molly and I got warned, and this, that, and the other thing. A lot of stuff transpired in the middle, but they're pretty good, and their team is pretty good and very physical, and so that ref crew had their work cut out for them, and it was a fun game to be a part of, even though I wish we would have ended up on the other side of it.
26 turnovers certainly didn't help.
Yeah, I mean, they forced 36 in their last game, so that's a part of what they are, and so you're not going to not turn it over against these guys. I think the bigger point is just that we were able to execute through some of it, and despite that, whatever, that's part of the game. So we have to do other things. We didn't foul them, so that was something positive. We had a lot of players who, played tough, and I think, we turned it over. Sure, probably 10 of those they could have called a foul instead of us turning it over. So I think the physical play is the bigger issue than the turnovers.
Taryn tonight hit a couple big threes, especially that one late. What out of her performance you see?
Yeah, when Z went down, it was nice to, have Taryn be confident and step up. And again, I think that did she have any in the first half? I can't remember. I don't think so. I think they were both in the second half, right? It was just a 2. But, when you're only shooting 4 times, it's not a ton, right? It's easy. So she was able to guard, and she was able to run the floor, and she was able to help handle pressure. And then when she was ready, and I've said that in this press conference multiple times, that her just being ready to shoot it whenever. We have some high usage players, and she at this point in her career, she's going to be able to continue to evolve as an offensive player. But right now, she's really capable of stretching the defense and knocking down those shots and staying confident. And so I love that she was. It was probably within the last minute or 2, right? It was pretty late. So big moment, big shot.
I know I've said this before with Lauren and her ability to draw fouls. 7 tonight too, and as you mentioned, we all out-fouled them too, or out-drove the fouls. What about her ability you see of just her continuing to grow this season, being able to be that effective on defense and offense?
Yeah, she's just, her goal is just to keep getting better every day. She wants to be the best version of herself. You guys know this. I think I've been recruiting her since she was 12. We recruited her sister, right? And when her coaches back home talked about the differences between the two of them, or, we knew Charlotte, but this is what Lauren's deal is. Lauren just wants to compete at the highest level. She's going to be an MVP for her national team, and she's going to be all those things. But right now, she's just focused single-minded on continuing to improve. And, she's got lots of ways where she can do that, but she's starting from a pretty high point here with us at Gonzaga. And so her future is bright, but really, just the same as the team. It's just one day at a time. You just come, show up, and go to work and see if you can be better, today than you were yesterday. And that's certainly her mentality.
Is there any update on Z's injury?
At some point, someone told me she was available. I just thought that I liked Christabel and Allie and Lauren Nesh, and the group that we had at that time. So I actually don't. I think she's okay. Yeah.
was her, like last press conference we talked about potentially her having a shoulder situation, but we weren't sure about that either. Has that been?
Yeah, I mean, her shoulder's ongoing, I would say. Yeah, that's just the being a junior, right? She's starting to get old. So those are those kind of things. So this was knee, and I think she's okay.
Can you talk a little bit about Christabel's just immediate impact when she had to come in and pinch there?
Yeah, last week we were actually talking about, since we had some extra time, who we would want in the game if we needed a stop, one stop. And so we were kind of toying back and forth, and like Chris was never out of the conversation. It was always Lauren, Taylor, Chris, Neshi, and then probably Taryn. Like that was the group. But we said, well, what if you need size? Maybe Jew. What if you need rebounding? Well, maybe this player. And Christabel was always included. And so I just think she's a really good defender. She hasn't gotten a ton of in-game opportunities, but we see her doing that every day. And I think that I'm trying to just, show, like, make the right decision that we've processed through. And she proves every day that she's a good defender. So even if she hasn't played a ton of minutes, then she's the one. And she came in, she got that steal, she made that layup. And she and Nesh and Taryn, but again, she brings some size to the position differently than the other two. They're just really good at guarding, and her length is impactful. So hopefully we can continue to help her build confidence, because I'm very confident in her if we need to stop.
So had a good break of a lot of days before this game, and then you have tonight, and then your last two non-conference coming up on the road, and both pretty far away from each other too. I mean, how are you looking ahead to try to handle travel and close out non-con on a good note?
Yeah, I mean, the message that we have for our team is, like, let's stay confident and build momentum if we can. You know what I mean? And it's not about building momentum. You get into conference, and it doesn't matter if you've rattled off. Last year I think Portland was undefeated, right, when they came into conference. And so there's a lot that goes into the non-conference. And then whatever went into the non-conference, the conference is totally different. Everybody knows you. If every team that we've played has wanted to beat us and hated us and known what our reputation is, then conference is 5 times more, right? It just is. And they are even more familiar with you, and they they have your number in this way, and they've planned forever to plot it against you. So I think that our team is just, again, I mean, we're trying to make some improvements. We still have areas to improve. You guys go ahead and outline them for me. It's not rocket science to know what some of them are. But also, it'd be great for us to just keep getting better. I think there was a couple years ago when Laura Stockton was maybe a sophomore or freshman, I can't remember, and we had a lot of these close games, and a lot of them didn't go our way. And by the end of that, we won a championship, So I think for us, we're just trying to keep getting better. It's not dissimilar to last year. It's how you always got to do it. If you get too worked up about one thing or another, or being undefeated, or being whatever, or winning all the ones at home, then you're disappointed and you lose sight of what we can do right now. And all we can do right now is see how we can be better in our next game. So that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to tell my team, don't listen to this, and don't listen to that, and don't get focused on that, and forget about this. And our message is just trying to keep getting better.